Hello, welcome to Podcast vs. Player. Today, we're doing another SpoilerCast. Spider-Man Far From Home. We're not far from home, but Dan is here to keep me company.
Yep.
First off, how are you?
I'm good.
I don't want to be rude.
No, I appreciate the politeness. It's very nice of you. Thank you.
It's all right.
I don't care about how you are, though, on the other hand.
I didn't expect anything else.
Well, good.
But Spider-Man, we've both seen it now.
Yeah, we have.
I'm going to say straight away, I really enjoyed it.
I also really enjoyed it.
So if you don't want to listen to the rest of this, there's a summary.
Yeah, it's good. Watch it. If you've liked Homecoming, if you've liked the last 6 or 7 MCU films, you'll probably dig it. So everything from this point, though, is going to be talking about the film in full, so spoiler warning. If you don't want to watch this, I mean, what?
Both, if you want to listen or watch it.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Spider-Man Far From Home, we're going to spoil the shit out of it. Post-credit scenes.
Day.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Straight off, you reckon it was better than Homecoming?
No.
You don't reckon?
No, Homecoming, I think it was because it was a Spider-Man film that was kind of so different from what we were used to.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the main sort of points are still there, you know, but we didn't have to sit through a bloody origin bullshit thing again. I think that the Vulture was a better villain in terms of how he becomes a villain. I think he's
definitely one of the best MCU villains.
For sure, yeah. And Michael Keaton, man. Don't get me wrong, that's not taking anything away from Mysterio. You know, and I've mentioned on podcast previously, how much I've been saying Mysterio would be such a good Spider-Man villain. For various reasons that I'll get into later on.
Yeah.
And he's done it so well, and I think that the characterization of Mysterio for this universe, I think it works perfectly.
Yeah, they've managed to. He is shoehorned in, but it's not random. He's linked to the rest of.
But just a behind the scenes kind of, you know, it's still someone who's been fucked over by, as per usual, a Stark.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's kind of like, oh, you know, we've created all this mad technology and we've just been taken advantage of with it, you know, and we're not getting any credit, and now it's time for us to be the heroes now that Tony isn't here.
Now he's dead.
Yeah, exactly. Now we can step up, because apparently no one else is a threat. Seriously? That you just go, well, Iron Man's not here. For whatever particular reason, no one else would be aware of.
No one stepped up.
No one would be made aware of this global level catastrophe.
Well, you're still going to have, because I reckon any villains, so Rhino, like any Spider-Man villains, they've got to already be in the woodworks.
Well, Scorpion is, we know that much.
Yeah, but he's in Blackgate or wherever.
Not Blackgate, it's from fucking Batman.
Yeah, no, I couldn't think of the fucking the prison that they're in.
Yeah, but he's in the end of Homecoming. Well, he's in the film.
He's teased.
Yeah, but he's not proper Scorpion until a bit later on, I guess. Not to say that they will, but I'm assuming that what they're going to do, whilst they can still make these Spider-Man films, is they're going to go, everyone's seen Green Goblin, we've seen a Doc Ock. I wouldn't want to be the one who takes on the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2 Doc Ock, because Alfred Molina did a pretty good job as far as I can see. He's too old now. But it was like the arms made sense in a like, obviously to control the sun. All right, bit far-fetched maybe, but like the design of them and the fact that they were like talking to him through his own head, and you know, I think that was really, really well put together. I think that's why Spider-Man 2 is definitely the best of those 3 films.
Oh, by far.
Probably better than.
Don't you dare say it.
Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. Because who did we get
him
in 1? So we got Lizard, and Gwen Stacy.
No, we got one of the Goombas from the Super Mario Brothers films.
It's an attempt at Lizard, but whatever. And then we got Electro, which was pants. So, I'd still say that Alfred Molina kind of was the highlight of all 3 films, in terms of baddies anyway.
Imagine if we'd have got that Doc Ock instead of Electro or
I still think they would have fucked it up. I mean, look what they did to Rhino in that film.
In all fairness, in the Ultimate Universe, it is a big fucking transformer.
But this isn't the Ultimate Universe.
No, but that's obviously where they've taken
it's fine, but it's just there's no build up to it. It's just here's a guy in a gigantic rhino outfit. Why is it a rhino?
Don't get me wrong, it's garbage, but I think Andrew Garfield is way better than Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, as a Spider-Man for sure.
That's what I mean.
He's not crying every 10 minutes.
Doc Ock with Andrew Garfield.
Oh, I see. Switch him around. So,
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'd have been okay for that. But Green Goblin's been done 3 times
Twice.
now. Well, no,
3 times.
Count James Franco's New Goblin.
Tony Hawk Goblin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Tony Hawk Pro Goblin. And then we got whoever the fuck it was in the last one. He was in Chronicle or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. I knew there was another villain in fucking Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, so it was, but that was that. Even compared to Franco Goblin with the ski mask,
Franco Goblin was better.
yeah, it genuinely was. But that's the thing. So they go, okay, you've had your Goblin. We've done Lizard, and it was Lizard was obviously teased during the Raimi Spider-Man films anyway, because Kurt Connors is in it. But we've had Electro, so now we've had Vulture, we've had Shocker, and well, he was Shocker.
Not full Shocker.
Well, no, but there was 2 people doing. You go, oh, you want to be? Oh, he's on the Shocker, Well, you can be the Shocker now, and he was. It wasn't to the level of normal Shocker, but maybe someone gets that tech and they like the idea of it. Maybe it'll be a Herman Schultz who'll come along and go, I can make this work, even though the first dude had like the padded jacket or whatever. But that could have just been a nod,
I hope they go towards the PS4 Spider-Man Shocker.
Yeah, he looked like proper grizzled and scarred, and he's been pissing about with electricity too long.
I think it was a good design.
Yeah, for sure.
Better than an oven mitt, anyway.
Yeah. So, and then obviously we've had Mysterio now. So there's still plenty of villains to play with that we haven't seen on screen yet, Scorpion being one of them. But obviously, I think that would be... So if the next Spider-Man film is to have Kraven, I think that having Kraven hunting Spider-Man, I don't think that would necessarily make sense. Whereas if Kraven was hunting Scorpion or Rhino, so it's an animal-human... weird hybrid-y kind of thing, and Spider-Man gets in the way, and that's when he gets pissed off with Spider-Man. That's fine by me, because then it would give them another way to introduce, what would Scorpion look like in this? Would he be in a kind of a Whiplash basic bare bones exo suit kind of thing, or would it be like a full...
Well, they've got to fuse it to him, because that's the whole point of his thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But do they do is it maybe like a throwaway thing, so he's just given the coat hanger Scorpion from the 60s, where he's just got a bit of a bendy tail, and it's just Spider-Man just battering him in immediately, and then maybe he gets a sweet suit later on or something. I don't know. But there's potential for new villains, but not so much about the what is to come. Let's just backtrack to the actual film itself.
Yeah. So Far From Home.
Yeah.
My biggest issue, Dan. I really enjoyed it, and I think once it gets going, there's a lot of elements that are better than Homecoming.
Elements, very nice.
See what I did there?
Yeah, you didn't mean to do that, but I know you didn't. Yeah.
So, hands down, Vulture's a better villain. Michael Keaton, Jake Gyllenhaal's great. Michael Keaton was better.
Yeah. I think it's because he was genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, he was fucking. You got to remember that prior to the Homecoming film, all we had was REM guy with wings.
What?
He was just an old man. The Vulture looked like the old dude, like the singer from REM.
I have no idea who that is, but okay.
Oh, yeah, he did. He just looked like an old dude.
Yeah,
he wasn't scary.
They've changed because Vulture was he was harvesting people's youth or something like that from the comics.
Yeah.
So they've obviously just taken that out because why would that be a thing?
Stupid. But I think the sequences with Mysterio
were
a
amazing.
lot fucking better than anything Vulture did.
Again, we'll get to that because I want to talk about
that. Obviously, that's going to be its whole thing. But my biggest problem with this is, so Civil War. He's like, I can do it. I can help out Mr. Stark. He's like, no, just Just do what you're told. Stay back. And then Spider-Man Homecoming, it's like, I'm sick of being friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I can be an Avenger. I can do this. And he's just like, stop pissing about. He's like, I can do it. And then Infinity War goes to space. And then Endgame, he's fucking battling up with the entire MCU. And then this, it's like, I want to go on holiday.
Yeah, I think... but that's exactly why I think that he's just like, look, I've done enough for the moment. I want a break. And it's not because he's going, I don't want to be Spider-Man. It's because he wants to get close to MJ.
Yeah, which is, don't get me wrong, it's fine. But I think they spent far too long of the film with the kids.
I disagree. I think that this wasn't supposed to just be your normal Spider-Man. He's in New York swinging about, and it's just him whinging to himself or whatever. It's nice to actually, like, I don't need to, like, the relationship between, like, Ned and Betsy, that's fine, but it's just a cute sort of throwaway joke, really, because obviously it's not going to be built on, and, you know, it's whatever. But, like, how awkward Peter and MJ are, that's real.
Turns into a blubbering idiot.
But that's real. It's not like Peter going, hey, hey Gwen, how you doing? Hey MJ. Like, he's just sort of like, I don't really know how to talk to girls, but I want to smell her hair, but I don't know why and I don't know how.
I mean, Peter's fine. I mean MJ, because she's gone from being like really cool and fucking a little bit dark, a little bit morbid, to sappy.
Well, I think that's just because she's just found out that he's actually Spider-Man and he's really cool and he's actually into her. And she's just sort of, I think it's just sort of like she's just taken a bit off guard and she's like, holy shit, Spider-Man is into me. Fuck, okay. And now I need to be kind of open and honest and I don't really know what to do. And they're dead awkward and they can't really kiss properly and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely think that that's the best Spider relationship that we've had so far. It's not just, it's in the script so they have to be together. It felt like they were both trying to sort of like turn each other towards that same kind of path. But then when they finally got there, they were just like,
yeah,
what do we do?
As young kids.
And yeah, when you're 16, like I remember you, like I don't know if you've got the same, I'm sure you were charming everyone's pants off, but my first kiss, I was 16, I think. Like, first actual proper kiss with an actual girl, in quotations,
that wasn't me.
Girlfriend. I mean, after that, it's all bloody no holds barred. But it was just sort of like you just pushed your face together, and then it was just like magnets repelling each other, and then you go, okay, bye,
yeah,
and that was it. But you felt like you'd climbed Everest or something. It was incredible. But it was that kind of awkwardness, and that's why I really liked their relationship, and I liked them just being. I mean, it's a bit. The only thing that bugged me is that I think that bugged.
Oh man, we're on fire today.
No, I am. I'm picking them all out. You have no idea what you're doing. Like they go, I'm going to Venice. I'm just going to go to Venice, and like I like the fact that like Nick Fury was just sort of like directing them to go. No, you're going to go to Berlin now because we need you there for whatever particular reason. But why was Mysterio there? Why was he in Venice? Why was he doing all of this shit exactly where Peter was?
I think they were just from what I can remember. Fair mind, this is like 3 weeks ago. I think they were basically. I'm sure Marie Hill looks on a map and she's like, there's a pattern.
Yeah, there's a big power surge, and then that's where the next one's going to be. But they don't tell Peter that until he's already in Venice, because they say, yeah, we're going to need you to go to Austria or whatever it was. Yeah. And he's like, no, I'm on holiday and I'm going to take a bloody break, thank you very much. I literally did just help save the universe, so I'm taking a breather. And they went, all right, well, see you in a bit, thanks anyway. And then it's just like, yeah, you're going to Austria with a school trip, and I was like, woohoo! And he knows that it's Fury. But the power surge was in Venice. They just ended up in Venice. And I know that you need to get the story started, but it just felt like it was a bit of a, we've gone on holiday. A bloody world-ending disaster. I don't believe it. Of all the places, why wouldn't it have been in America? Clearly all the people who were in Mysterio's little team were all based there. Why would they go to Venice and do it there? That was literally the only thing. That's a good point, that actually. I was just sort of like, maybe if I watch it a couple more times, it'll make some sense. Or there'll be some throwaway line that I totally missed or whatever. But after that, when they're then guiding Peter to where he needs to be in order to fight these kind of surges, I'm totally cool with that, because that just seems like the sort of dick move that Nick Fury would do. Like, he'd be like, oh yeah, I get it, but he's still going to make you do what he wants.
Yeah. Did you notice? Excuse me. Did you notice the scene from the trailer where he's taking out like all the mob people?
Yeah, that's going to be made into its own thing, apparently.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah. So that it'd probably show up either on the DVD. It'll probably show up on YouTube at some point, so you can keep an eye out for that. But it just looks like they just shot extra stuff before they go on holiday bit.
Yeah,
so,
it's basically, it was like a long montage of like a checklist of what he needs to do before he can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that will be around somewhere. So keep an eye out on that on YouTube, because someone will pop it on there at some point, I'm sure. But anything else that sort of like stood out as like a really sort of like, I don't get that, or I'm not happy with that.
Really, I liked it, but I didn't like it. How they handled the snap or the blip, as they called it in this.
I think that's a trash name, but I don't know if that's just their school calling it the blip. Although Happy says it's his blip beard.
Yeah,
I don't like blip. That doesn't seem like a grand enough term for half the people
stupid
in the world vanishing.
But considering it, the consequences of it. I mean, like you see, like in Endgame, spoilers if you haven't seen Endgame. You shouldn't be listening to this if you haven't seen Endgame.
Well, yeah.
When you see the amount of grave, like memorial statues, when Scott Lang's trying to see if his daughter's on there.
Yeah.
And there's fucking thousands of them, each with like hundreds of names on them, and it's sad and it's depressing and it's horrible. And then obviously she is still alive, and I'm like, oh, it's really. And then this is like, oh, and then it's just like a cut back of somebody playing basketball or something, and somebody just and comes back in and they get hit in the face with a basketball, and it's like it was a big fucking I understand and I appreciate. Yeah, we've just watched 2 films based around this entire thing. We don't really need to drag this on too much, but they just turn it into a comedy aspect of quite a serious thing.
I think that's. I'm kind of okay with that.
I'm okay with it because it meant right. This is done. It's out of the way.
Well, we've had all the emotion. We've had all the people being upset with everything going tits up.
I like the.
But the fact is, it's not as if this was the film that was set after the blip. I hate calling it that, but whatever.
Blip. It's the snap.
Yeah, the snap is fine. I'm fine with that. But obviously, people on Earth wouldn't get that. You go, snap what? I don't get it. They're not going to know what happened.
But no. I agree. But how does a blip? Again, his difference.
Well, maybe it's just because it was just okay. Well, everyone disappeared, but they're all back, so no harm, no foul, I guess. Everyone's fine.
Does everybody know what happened, or did they just think it was a weird thing?
I think I heard someone say Thanos at some point.
Because shouldn't the Avengers, the remainder of Avengers, have had like
a press conference or something?
Press conference.
Like, yeah, this is what happened. We had
Thanos
to go to another planet, and it was Thanos. And honestly, don't worry about it. It would take about 20 movies to explain.
They must know, because Iron Man's like fucking held in like he gave his life and
yeah, but you could just say he killed himself to save everyone, literally everyone. Across the universe.
Why?
No, I just again I think that it's now that that's over and done with, and that was such a nice kind of closure on the whole thing. I think the last thing you want to do is really dig back into it. Just don't worry about it anymore. Like it's over and done with. Everyone was teary-eyed and whatever during Infinity War, and then everything was amazing during Endgame. I think it's best just to brush over it and get straight into Spider-Man's story, because I don't want him caught up in the events of things that he wouldn't have been a part of.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't there himself.
Precisely, yeah.
I like the opening with like the montage to the Bodyguard song.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
And then like they had some of like the stock footage. It was like Getty Images.
Yeah.
That was quite funny. So overall, like in terms of pushing the story along stuff, it was fine. It had a lot of typical MCU humour, which is fine.
Some great jokes.
I actually can't think of a really good one off the top of my head. But
Fucking hell.
funny, nonetheless.
I apologise, but my washing machine's going in the background, so if you can hear that buzzing away,
I can't.
it's the washing machine. It's not a
Vibrator.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I thought probably in poor taste, but never mind. Yeah, no, I'd say like when he gets the glasses and he like understands the glasses, and then he orders a kid, like a drone strike on the kid on the bus. I thought that was great.
How did the bus driver not see him?
Don't worry about it.
you know it's better me when he's just like, oh look, it's like a deer or something.
Yeah, he's like, oh man and go babies. And
Yeah.
everyone looks, then he just like jumps out the bus. Maybe he just did it so quickly with his spidey sense.
He's
Peter
not
Tingle. Or
that
whatever.
quick. He's not the Flash.
Well, plus he should be concentrating on the road.
You can still look in the fucking rear view mirror.
He doesn't need to. By the time he looked up and then looked back down, he would have been up and zapped him and then come back down again. He would have been fine. I don't have to sit here and explain this movie to you.
But in keeping up with what was his name? Don't say Peter. The guy you nearly killed.
He nearly killed.
Yeah,
Brian or Ryan or something.
Him. When the woman has got Peter in the room and she's like, try this suit on.
Yeah. And he's just like that. Yeah, I love the fact it wasn't just sort of like, oh, sorry, dude. It was just like, yeah, I'm gonna abuse this.
I'm gonna tell you my entire plan.
No, it was just like, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna just tell MJ because I like her, and this will completely fuck you over. So
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, dude.
But Jake Gyllenhaal.
Perfect. Perfect casting for him.
I don't know why. There was a lot of people that was not particularly happy with his casting. I can't see why. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
And he did a good job. Even though at no point during the promotion for the film, anything leading up to the film, to actually watching the film, did I think, man, maybe he is a good guy.
Yeah.
But
See, this is the thing, right? So I think that if you had no idea of who Mysterio is in the wider comic universe, maybe you would be able to just go, oh, fuck, okay. In the same kind of way that with Homecoming, Vulture turned out to be whatever face's dad. Like when he just opens the door at prom, I was like, ooh!
yeah.
Ooh, I didn't see that coming. Whereas this, I was just like, well, he's going to pretend he's a good guy or whatever, but he's clearly not. But what I thought they might do afterwards, I was just like, what if it had been a triple bluff? What if he was a good guy to Peter, and then it turned out he was actually a bad guy, but all along he was actually a good guy? I don't know how that would work, but like flipping, like the Skrulls, like everyone goes, oh, Skrulls are the bad guys. You've seen Secret Invasion and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then the Skrulls aren't the bad guys. And it's like, huh? Maybe they just went, yeah, no, he's genuinely a bad guy this time. We've got an actual villain, and you're not gonna.
I'm not sure why he would have been a good guy to then pretend to be a bad guy to then be a good guy.
I don't know. Maybe some sort of weird shield bullshit where it's just like, just you've got to dick people over. You've got to bring people back together after the blip or whatever. People are starting to get a bit carried away and starting old fights and wars and whatever, and we just need to refocus everyone. But I'm kind of glad that they just like, yeah, he's just an out and out baddie.
But he was good. I mean, he gave good advice to Peter, and it seemed like he did actually kind of like Peter to a degree.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he was just pissed off. He's like, oh, I need to kill you now. Like, that wasn't part of the plan, but now I bloody have to. By the end of it, he's just like, give me a fucking gun and I'll blow his head off.
Yeah, I'll do it myself. Okay.
Yeah.
But he did seem to go from, actually, he might be a good... No, he is just a full-out fucking villain.
Yeah.
And it was very... I was going to clip my fingers, but it was very quick.
Yep.
There wasn't... I mean, Vulture was... He was doing a lot of bad things, but he was doing them for good reasons. And he wanted to provide.
Yeah,
in his head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He wasn't necessarily... He was just robbing places.
Well, he was stealing like alien tech, wasn't he? And then just selling that on. But I mean, that's
selling it on.
You're an arms dealer. That doesn't mean you're firing the guns, but you're just as culpable.
Yeah, you shouldn't be giving weapons to people.
Yeah.
Who clearly, if they're not buying them legally from shops, then they're probably bad people.
And intending to use them.
Yeah, but in terms of up until Spider-Man starts fucking things up, he's making sure everything's on the low, doesn't want to get the attention of the Avengers, this, that and the other. But it is, you see that incline of he's getting like more evil.
Yeah.
Well, not evil, but
No,
he's getting worse as it goes on.
Yeah.
Because of Spider-Man. Whereas this was, I've got what I wanted, look how evil I am.
See, I know that obviously their goal was to get the glasses, the Tony Stark, like super controlled glasses. But I'm not sure. I correct me if you think you know what this is, but once they actually had it, and obviously they did have it, and they'd say, okay, so what we'll do is we'll create these like huge disasters, and Mysterio, as he's now called, will go in there and save the day. What was the end game here? What was the overall goal?
Well, I asked the very same question because my friend went to see it not yesterday, the day before.
Yeah,
and he said that there is when they're in the bar, like after they've got the glasses and stuff, they're talking about that they're gonna make millions. Oh, not millions. They're gonna start making money and get rewarded for their previous hard work and whatnot. I don't know how they're gonna get that money.
Yeah.
And what happens when another Thanos comes along and everyone's like, Mysterio, you need to save us. He's like, oh, there's a fire monster.
The thing is that it's a very easy thing to, like, if you're Thor, say, and you just happen to come back to Earth as one of these things was playing out.
Yeah.
You'd go in and just electrocute it, and then just a bunch of drones would fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
With like, as long as you don't have the Avengers there, you might be able to get away with it. But if any of them are there, that plan falls apart incredibly quickly. Like, because it's all just illusion. Yeah. So Doctor Strange goes, yeah, they're drones. Like, he can just go, I can sense there's not a monster there. It's all bullshit. Like, it's just on the very good grace that there wasn't anyone. Like, obviously Spider-Man again figured it out because he's
Spider Sense.
Yeah,
it's Peter Tingle.
No, I'm still not sure on that, but whatever. But it's just sort of like, it seems like they've been going, okay, we've got this plan and we've been planning it for years to figure all this stuff out, for 10 years, and they're just waiting for the perfect time to go, right, the Avengers are definitely gone, okay, now we can do it, and now we can start doing shit or whatever.
When they're in the bar and Peter's like, it makes sense, Tony's like, they're not for me, the glass, I need to give them to someone like you, who is a hero and who understands what they need to do.
Yep.
And then he gives him the glasses and says, no, they're yours. What if Peter went, yeah, you're right, they're mine. See you later. Bye.
Or just gone, well, I'll tell you what, before I give you this, as this controls literally weapons of mass destruction, how about you just pop them on and go, Edith, or whatever her name was, I think it was Edith, and go, this guy, is he on the level? And he'll go, no, that's all bullshit. Like,
he used to work for Tony Stark.
Nothing in this room is real. And he'd go, oh, I see, okay, drone strike on my location, please, and just dive out the window. But he's a kid and he's an idiot, I guess. And
I mean, in all fairness, take out the fact that we know Mysterio's a dickhead.
Yeah, for sure. Like a multiverse
He's very convincing
warrior from another planet. You go, well, I've met an alien and a sorcerer and a guy that turns into a giant green thing and a god. Yeah. You could totally be another Avenger type dude from a different world who lost his world and kind of came through. Yeah, sure, why not? Like, nothing in this world seems to make sense anymore. So, sure. Like, I think I totally buy him just being caught up in it, and I think that the chemistry that Tom Holland and Jake Gyllenhaal have got, like, he's kind of like a younger, cooler, more interactive Tony Stark, I guess. He's not someone who's just going to keep you at arm's length and just give you the odd reward every now and then. Like, he seems like he'd be like, yeah, sure, let's sit down and have a talk, and what do you need? Let me help you out.
You've still got to bear in mind that he's gone from being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, saving people in his pajamas, to having a father, mentor, superhero figure, to having no one, to then finding this guy. And you completely, is absolutely in the same position. Obviously not me because I'm super smart, but in the same position, you'd probably react the exact same, and you would put a lot of trust into him. And like Nick Fury's said that this guy's a superhero.
If Nick Fury vouches for him, why would you doubt that?
Exactly.
So I don't think
Nick Fury, air quotes.
Yeah, exactly. Nick Fury, of course. Yeah, but I think that a lot of the beats of the film and like the relationship building and finding out who he is and how it all works, and that it was all these people who had all these kind of like behind the scenes interactions with like technology and cool shit for all the other films, and like just getting really pissed off that they were all fired or they weren't respected enough or whatever. I totally get it. And I think it's great that he's got this like illusion team, and like he's like they have like that whole like rehearsal thing, like where it's like the drones like flying.
Brilliant.
It's great because it's like they got planning and it's like a stage performance.
But
it's
that's
so good.
Obviously, in the comics, his background is in special effects.
Yeah, he's a special effects
movies
artist
and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was such a nice little touch, where he is basically directing a scene, and he's just like rewind that bit back and then blah 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 blah.
Increase
blah.
the damage and make it a bit more bombastic. But then like I can see him being like in that mocap suit, but that's like the actual mocap suit they had Jake Gyllenhaal wear. They're just like, yeah, just keep it. Like it saves us a costume. It's fine, just use that.
We'll say my favourite, well, probably not my favourite, but what bit I really liked when obviously Spider-Man clicked and goes, wait a fucking minute, and then he's fighting Mysterio, and you got the Iron Man coming out of the grave.
Yeah, the
half zombified Iron Man.
That's creepy as fuck.
There was no fucking way anybody could have predicted that.
No, let's have a zombie Iron Man in it.
That was such a good fucking. I'd go as far as saying I think that's probably a scarier scene than. Obviously, we're adults. Vulture isn't actually scary, but to a kid, he's pretty fucking. Like, I didn't let Logan watch all of Homecoming straight away. I'd forward through the Vulture bits, and he just watched Spider-Man swinging around and shit.
Yep.
There's not a fucking chance. Like, Iron Man, oh my god!
What happened to his face? It rotted off, son.
He's dead.
Yeah. But I'll talk about the, like, because obviously it's kind of like you play any of the Batman Arkham games.
Yeah.
The Scarecrow levels are usually some of the best in there because they're dead creative, and everything's really topsy-turvy, nothing really makes any sense, and gravity doesn't work in the same kind of way. And I think that I'm glad they only did the one bit, but it was as long as it was. I think if they'd done any more of it, it would have started to wear a bit thin, maybe. But as soon as it turns up to, like, full Mysterio, and he has no idea what's going on, his senses are just getting completely battered from every angle.
He gets fucking KO'd by a fucking train, doesn't he?
And then he gets hit by a train, and he's still going, oh god, my side. I was like, god damn, Spider-Man, you're fucking tough, man.
I completely agree. I was really annoyed that it was taken to as long as it did to get to like the really like psychedelic, trippy Mysterio illusion bullshit. But I'm really glad that they kept it to a minimal because it was so effective.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest problem. Not my biggest problem. That was one of my biggest criticisms of Doctor Strange. Because
that they overused the.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, you see the beginning bit with Mads Mikkelsen and what's her name?
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, and like all the cities turning and buildings are going in and out of each other and all that stuff, and it looked fucking cool. And then there's like another one a bit later on, and then another one a bit later on, then another one a bit. It was like, fucking hell, come on, got a fucking migraine here.
Yeah, but I think if they'd have overused it, I think it would have lost its effectiveness.
Exactly.
Because for Peter, because he just like as soon as you figured out, wait, this isn't real. Like, but the thing is, though, he's not convinced that it is. He knows it's not. He just can't understand. He can't figure out what's real and what's not. He's like bumping into walls and things. Like, he's just so overwhelmed by it. But like when he's in the bridge part at the end, he's just like, okay, I know it's not real. Okay, I've got to use the spider sense. I know where they are. And he's like a Jedi.
Yeah.
Like, he's just dancing about and he's flipping off things and he's webbing them up. And then obviously he goes to get shot at the end and he just moves out of the way and catches the gun.
Because it's another illusion.
Exactly. So he's totally mistrusting what he can see. If you did that Mysterio big psychedelic trip, like you say, earlier on, I think that he would have had more time to adjust to it. And I think it would have been easier for him to see through these kind of things.
Can you imagine if that was... So, back to your idea, where he's a good guy, then he's a bad guy, now he's a good guy. That's how they could do it. And he's done all this, he's been a good guy, now he's a bad guy, gone for all of this, gets to the end, and then as Peter stops him on that last bit, he's like, you did it. He's like, what? He's like, I've unlocked your true potential.
I think that'd be a bit of a cop-out, but sure.
Now you are Spider-Man.
And then he disappears.
Yeah.
And it's an illusion all along.
It was inside of him all along.
And everyone goes, boo!
You are mysterious.
Boo! Rubbish!
And then like it pans out and it goes through, and then it's going through all the city, and then the city's getting smaller, and then it turns out you see it in like the fishbowl suit, and then he takes it off and he's actually on like a Broadway show, and that was just like his entire play.
I hate everything you just said.
I don't know how long you want to push this on, but I don't know. Do you want to jump to post credits or?
I mean, some more.
Have you got anything else?
You're talking about 20 minutes for about shit you didn't like for a film that you absolutely loved. So I think there's some more shit you can probably talk about in there.
New suit, brilliant.
The black suit,
black and red suit.
The red and black rather than red and blue. That's what I meant. Sorry.
I don't like how he got it.
No, I kind of like it. It's a bit of a callback to original Iron Man. You know, pissed about his suit and you know.
I don't want them to. It seems that they are pushing Spider-Man to be the new Iron Man.
Well, no, I think Nick Fury was trying to push him to be the new Iron Man, and Happy's saying...
just Marvel in general.
But he's saying, no, you know, I just want to be Spider-Man. That's what he thought I could be Spider-Man, and I could be a good Spider-Man, and that's what I want to be. That's why he didn't keep the glasses. He was just like, I'm not Iron Man. I don't want to be Iron Man, and I need to find someone who's more worthy of these than I am, because I don't want to be dealing with intergalactic threats all day. I want to kiss a girl, man. Like, can I just be a kid and just go to school and go on holiday and just do normal stuff?
That's the thing. You don't get the luxury of a shitty life when you've got superpowers.
Yeah, or when you've got an AI control thing, you just be like, yeah, can you just give me $1 million, please? Like, yeah, sure, done. That's it, and all of a sudden, okay, I don't have to worry about school anymore. I can just be a full-time Spider-Man.
Who's Happy working for these days?
I assume Pepper.
I guess.
Like, because she's still in charge of... Because Tony gave her the company, so...
Yeah.
It makes
Where was she?
Yeah,
why didn't she don the Heartbreaker suit or
anything?
anything?
I imagine it's Gwyneth Paltrow just being sort of like, no.
If it's not an Avengers film, I'm not in it.
Yeah, exactly. But you could say the same, you know, Falcon was in Ant-Man, for God's sake. You know, I was hoping for one person to pop up.
That wasn't happy.
Well, no, even Ant-Man. Like, because Scott's not a genius. Like, he's a good, like, engineer and, you know, computer guy
he
or whatever.
Fumble his way through stuff.
Yeah, but he's not Tony Stark. He's not Hank Pym. Like, there's a lot of people that would just either power their way through it very quickly and go, oh, okay, this is all bullshit. Or someone who would just go, yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Clearly something's wrong here.
Shouldn't, again, this is minor stuff. Shouldn't, like, Black Panther and stuff be keeping an eye on shit?
But at the same time, if he was travelling from... So if he was going, oh, okay, there's a big thing in New York or whatever. Right, I've got to get over to New York. So then he's got to fly from Africa to New York. And then by the time that's all he's gotten there, it's already finished. And then the same thing's happening in Venice. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, I've flown over that to get here.
I suppose.
Like, plus he's probably got other shit he's worrying about. It's like Captain Marvel. Like, because that's what Peter's like. It's like, oh, we just get Captain Marvel in. It's like, yeah, no.
Off-world.
Yeah, busy. She's just busy. She's the most powerful. Of course she's busy. She can't just sit around in a single city all day. I'm looking at you, Superman.
He still gets stuff around the world done.
Yeah, it's mainly when Lois is there, though.
Yeah, that's true. But there was a lot of stuff I liked. The way they handled Peter basically failing at every possible opportunity, because he can't go against a big fire monster. He can't go up against a big water monster.
Yeah, webs can only take you so far.
Yeah. I don't know why he didn't attempt to use like his laser webs.
Well, they were tasers.
His taser webs, though.
Yeah, but he does.
Did he?
Yeah, he got inside the big thing in London and then webbed them all together and then tased them all.
But I mean, when it was, he thought it was a water monster.
Because what's a taser going to do to a giant water monster that's smashing up buildings?
Set it, electrocute it.
Electrocute
Made of water.
it. So it's a giant thing made of water. It doesn't mean it's got a central nervous system that could be that's what a fucking taser does. It overloads your brain.
Well, it's obviously, it's got to be some form of living creature.
No, what if it's magic?
Obviously it wasn't. He didn't know it was magic.
I'm sure he's going. I'm sure that webs aren't going to do anything to this thing.
And I'm pretty sure in the animated series when he fights Hydro Man, he electrocuted him and then tricked him into cement.
True, but that was also a real thing.
Yeah, but when he was fighting him as a big water dude,
he just got smashed by him. He got absolutely smashed into a thing, and then Mysterio came in and was just like, "Yeah, I got it." Yeah. You wouldn't need to do anything else. You'd be like, "Oh, cool, fishbowl man. See you in a bit."
Fishbowl man. Mysterio's suit was ace.
The what, sorry?
Mysterio's suit.
Oh, incredible! Yeah.
For what is probably the most ridiculous costume one of the most ridiculous costumes in Marvel Comics. They look pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
It hit all the thing. The fact that he hated it as well. He was just like, it's got a cape and everything. It's stupid.
It's like, get me out of this thing.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. Like, he's got a costume department. They're like steaming the cape for him when he makes like big appearances and stuff. All of that stuff, like with the production behind it. Oh, I just think it was so fucking good. The
delivery on a lot of those lines, when obviously Spider-Man's fucking things up, and then you got that woman who's steaming the cape, and she's like, "Do you want me to carry?" He's like, "Yes, carry on with the cape." So I get, I know everybody said it a couple of times, but Jake Gyllenhaal did a fucking brilliant job.
Yeah, for sure.
He very much did. We'll jump on. Have you got any particular favourites?
No, I mean the Mysterio special effects stuff I think was really good. The fact that they said that he developed the Ultron Tony Stark reading his mind memory hologram thing.
Bath.
Yeah, brilliant. Like it's just like you've taken something that's already established as being a thing, and you've just gone, yeah, he designed it. Like I really hope that when they release, when they finish making Marvel movies or whatever, or they release the next lot or whatever, they add him into the background, like Jake Gyllenhaal just in the background or whatever, and you go, even though he wasn't there originally, obviously.
They might do, or like if they do like a new box set or something with like all the movies on, and like maybe kind of retouched some stuff up, so you just see Jake Gyllenhaal in the back, even if he's literally just got a clipboard like.
Are you kidding me? I literally just said that.
No, what I'm saying, like it's something that's very easily could be done. Easily.
Yeah. That's my point. That's literally what I just said.
I was agreeing with you.
I think it's easy enough to do stuff like that. And I don't, but it's, or because they obviously did like a flashback kind of scene where he's there with his whatever, like it was all black and white. You could just put that into Civil War. And just have like that scene.
Yeah, so he's just like off the side.
He's like, I called it Bath, and he's like, what? Like, and then just move on.
Yeah.
Because then you'll go, he was in it, brilliant.
But then you'll have to go back and watch your old copy to make sure that he wasn't in there originally.
Yeah, it's like the Star Wars remasters when they keep on adding shit into that. Yeah.
Yeah, you just have a fucking monster an alien walk past the fucking screen.
Ooh, excuse me.
But instead of an alien, it's just a really quick scene of Jake Gyllenhaal holding a goldfish bowl.
Yeah.
He's like, foreshadowing.
But I like the I just think that the chemistry, like the actual character and actor chemistry, like between the kind of the main group, I think it just works really well. They were awkward when they needed to be awkward. They were funny when they needed to be funny. I don't think anyone kind of let any of the acting down at all.
I'd say the I forgot his name already. Gary, whatever his fucking name was, Brian. He was a bit wet.
Yeah,
in terms of like the other kids had a lot. I mean, they had a lot more to do. He was just kind of like eye candy and
yeah, but he also wasn't.
Annoyance.
He hasn't been established previously either.
No,
so he's got like 5 lines.
Ned was a bit underused.
Maybe so, but I think they found a good way of just saying, yeah, he can't just be flipping around and joining Peter or whatever. You know, they said he's got a girlfriend now, so he's just with her.
It seemed really out of character though, because Ned strikes me as the sort of person who
would have his back.
Yeah, like
I kind of get it. Yeah,
whether it's as Peter or as Spider-Man, like he is. He seems to be the kind of kid that would the only thing he would do to fuck Peter over was if it was he could get the spider powers instead. And he seems really into the whole superhero thing.
Yeah, but I think he's also not an idiot, and he's like, yeah, me being there is not going to help matters. Like you are going to be worrying about me, and I'm just going to be in the way, and I'll probably get myself killed just because I just want to try and help you out or something. It's easier if I just fucking do one and not Lois Lane it or whatever, and end up putting myself into more danger and making matters worse for you. So I'm going to bounce as I can do fuck all against this thing and leave you to it. If you need me, you've got my number.
I still think Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone had better chemistry as a spider couple. But I think there was a real couple in real life, wasn't there?
I don't know.
I think they were. I could be very wrong there, but I'm 90% sure there was. But I think they were, so far at least, the best live action Spider-Man / I mean, I know she's not MJ, but Gwen Stacy's like on-screen couple.
I think that's mainly because Emma Stone's a really good actress.
Yeah, I mean,
I think she's way better than Andrew
She's got
Garfield.
a lot more acting experience. I mean, they both have got a lot more acting experience than Tom Holland and the girl who plays MJ. And for the most part, I think the fact, like you say, that they were happy when they need to be happy, they were scared when they need to be scared, and like they were fine. And they were a believable couple, which is all you can ask for. And they had their little on-screen kiss.
Yeah, and I think it wasn't an upside down thing. It wasn't momentous. It was the first kiss that I reckon a lot of people remember.
Yeah,
and go, oh,
I remember
God.
when I kissed Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was dead off. He didn't ask her anything. He just bloody went for it.
He was at my party,
But I don't think there's many missteps with this film, to be honest. I think it's a fairly safe one. They haven't gone.
It's by the numbers.
They haven't done anything too crazy, but if you've got something that works, why would you need to change it?
Yeah.
Only when people start to get bored with the formula that you've got do you need to try and shake things up a bit.
A lot of negatives for this film. A lot of negative reviews.
But I don't see. I mean, have you got any indications to why? Do they follow a certain theme, or?
I didn't really read. Kind of like, so well, I disagree with you completely, and then I look at because this was after I'd already seen it. A lot of people saying they didn't like the whole Mysterio tricking Peter. They didn't really make sense. Made a lot of sense, so disagree completely there. Yeah. A lot of people didn't like MJ and Peter. And personally, the only thing I didn't like was I think the pacing was a bit off in places, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. And considering that's the only thing I can really think that really not wound me up, but that I can say that I know I didn't like it.
Well, like the elemental stuff was just, it started and was over pretty quickly. But I think it was to set up the rest of the film.
Yeah.
So it's just
it's
like,
not
okay.
a long film. It's only like just over 2 hours.
Yeah, but they were just like, okay, here's why Nick Fury and Maria Hill would be involved. This is why they would need to get Spider-Man involved, because he's the only Avenger that they can reach. And they can manipulate him, I guess. And then that's when the rest of the film kicks in from there. Like the elementals, obviously they're not real, so they're not a threat.
Yeah.
Mysterio is. He's the threat. That's why the focus was turned quite quickly. But I know what you mean. It just felt like they were just like, here's the thing, and it's done. And then it's just moving on.
I mentioned the scene that didn't make it into the film. There's only a few fight scenes in the whole film, and that was one of them.
Well, he doesn't. I mean, it's mainly drones. Like, what can he can't do anything against them, I guess.
He's not going to get his henchmen. He doesn't really fight Mysterio. Obviously, he's
I think that's
fighting walls.
I think that's good in a way, though, because
no, that is good. But I mean,
Mysterio
in terms of
is
action,
just a dude. You punch him in the face, he's out.
Yeah, that's the thing. As soon as Peter gets his hands on him,
it's over. Yeah.
Like one punch will literally could kill him, really.
Yeah, if he's not careful. Yeah, absolutely.
But we'll jump onto the post credits.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, the biggie. Well, there's two biggies. But the first one, obviously, you get to see the shots actually that were leaked a long time ago of Peter and MJ swinging through,
doing a bit of swinging.
Web
swinging, should I say? Sorry.
That was a different film. And he drops her off. She doesn't like it. She's like, oh,
don't ever do that again. Yeah.
And then we get to see our old friend JJ.
Yep, J.K.
back
Simmons.
from the Ray back from the Raimi trilogy.
Without the hair, annoyed by that.
Yeah, he's gone bald though now, so unless they gave him a wig.
I'd just say, just the hair he had then, give it that. If it's a wig, just with the grey, he was so well cast for that role.
Yeah, it's fucking perfect. Absolutely perfect.
You need to have him looking as he did then, basically, because that is the most comic accurate casting ever done.
They should have done it so the camera just cut the top of his head off.
Or he's filming on his phone and it was dead like blurry or whatever. Yeah.
Or he's got like a Snapchat filter. He's just got like dog ears or
whatever. Yeah.
And obviously Mysterio has had the footage edited, so it looks like Spider-Man was behind the whole thing and he kills Mysterio, and now he's public enemy number 1. And they unmask him as Peter Parker, show him off to the world. Yeah. Bad news.
It is. It depends on, because you could easily just go, no, it's not.
Yeah, totally stupid.
Prove it.
Yeah.
He was a maniac who threatened people and blew stuff up and probably killed quite a few people.
To be fair, he doesn't mask his voice, and you hear him talking on the thing.
Yeah, and I think that especially if this is sort of set, in our kind of times with our sort of social media and stuff, there'd be a lot of people going, yeah, I doubt that. It's very jumpily edited, and Spider-Man's not been a threat to anyone. Why would he all of a sudden kill this guy?
Yeah.
I think people would piece that together very quickly, but I'm sure it would be more to just fuck Peter over personally, rather than actually people going, oh yeah, Spider-Man probably is a villain.
Well,
or to drone strikes on people, sure.
I saw a theory about this, and it's quite an interesting one, because obviously throughout a lot of the towards the final act of the film, there's obviously the guys in the production room who are downloading a lot of stuff and moving files here and there and doing bits and pieces. The theory being that they have hacked into Spider-Man's suit, and it's only him that can see it.
Which would make sense if MJ didn't react as well.
Yeah, because that's the bit I was going to ask you, because I can't remember what MJ does. The only bits I can remember is obviously him seeing it and just going, no.
No, MJ reacts.
I can't
to
remember
it as well.
MJ reacting.
Yeah.
Oh, because basically it was basically, this is what we can do to you. The other theory being Mysterio wasn't dead, and this is still an illusion.
I'm more than happy with that. I'm more than happy of Peter doubting, like Inception. He's doubting everything he sees, constantly going, is this another thing? Am I, actually, am I just about to walk off a cliff because that's just what this team want me to think? I could see that breaking him. You just constantly never, unless you could perfectly attune your spider sense to be able to pick that kind of shit up.
Yeah, which is what he does.
Eventually, yeah, but I think that if you go, okay, well, he's dead now, you're not going to think that, oh, well, maybe this current fight, maybe that's a new, or maybe it'll just always be playing on his mind.
Yeah.
And
Maybe turns into an old man Logan.
Yeah, I mean,
And
maybe
he kills the rest of the Avengers.
Yeah, but if it's sort of like if it turns him into sort of like a Nick Fury, where it's just sort of like never
Don't trust
trusting
anyone.
anything. Yeah, exactly. He can never trust his own eyes.
The other thing, Doctor Strange could just do something and just make everybody forget what they saw.
Absolutely.
Which I think
that
is more likely going to happen.
that's a bullshit Men in Black kind of just neuralise everyone and that's it. Don't worry about it. It never happened. But also, he's been outed in the comics, and it doesn't really change anything for him. Obviously, his family and his friends become targets.
Yeah,
due
in
to him.
Civil War, May and MJ both very, very nearly get killed.
MJ.
In the comic Civil War, not the.
Oh right, sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
When he Tony Starks himself.
But he's also been Spider-Man for about 10 years by that point.
Yeah, he's like 28 or something.
Yeah, so he's been doing it for a fair old while.
Yeah.
But I think it would be more sort of like, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with that. I think that's interesting. I think that's a really interesting point to leave it on. Of just sort of like, because he's basically the only Avenger that people don't know. Everyone knows, and they're not exactly going about hiding their faces.
Yeah. Oh, Jarvis, I guess. Vision.
But he's also a robot, so it wouldn't make any difference.
Black Panther. He's not an Avenger, is he? So.
No, but at the same time, everyone in Wakanda knows he's Black Panther.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'd say, yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
So he's possibly the only one that the general public either don't know or wouldn't be able to find out relatively easily.
That's because, well, it's not because, but it makes sense that the Avengers fight otherworldly,
like
universe-destroying creatures,
world-ending level threats. Yeah,
and once they've destroyed them, they have a day off or whatever. You're not going to have Dr. Octopus trying to take on the Avengers, whereas Peter's taking on criminals and like mafia bosses and stuff, who will just go, oh, that's Peter Parker, kill his aunt.
Oh, where does he go to school? Google. There he is. Okay, blow the school up.
So there's a precedence to conceal his identity.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, because like Tony Stark in like Iron Man 3 was just like, here's my address, come and get me if you want, and then he did, and then he still beat him, and then you know that, like people like Thor can like literally wipe out armies and stuff. Like you could know exactly who Thor was, what he looked like, and people recognise him on the street. You know.
Yeah.
You could know exactly who all of these sort of human friends are, but you would never be stupid enough to try and fuck with them. What are you going to do? Hold Thor to ransom?
Yeah.
It's like, well, we've got Natalie Portman and we're going to kill her. And it's just like, tell me where to meet.
It's okay.
Meet us at this warehouse, and then he just turns up and just kills them all.
Yeah, that's even your lower level event like Hawkeye and Black Widow. By the time you've devised your plan to they've already snuck into your house and fucking took you out.
Black Widow's probably the worst. She's an assassin.
Yeah, she'll kill you.
She will for sure kill you. She's got no issues with killing you whatsoever.
It's like Cap and everyone else will just batter you.
I mean, to be fair, Cap used a gun. Like he's still killed a lot of people.
Oh yeah, he's probably killed more than most because of the wars and stuff.
Yeah, and like he's just throwing dudes off buildings and whatever.
Yeah,
like he's just liquefying organs. To be fair, they're all bad guys. So it's on them. But they've never hidden away from the fact of, they're not like, oh, we're above that. Peter has. He's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. But no one else has.
Instant, he used instant kill in...
Yeah, it is aliens, though, doesn't matter.
He's still murder.
That's the comic book rule, isn't it? Like, Batman will kill aliens and ghosts and demons and stuff all day long. I bet he can't wait for the day that aliens invade. He's like, oh...
Finally.
I've got so much built-up anger. I'm just going to kill everything. It's like they're not humans. That's my rule. That bit
was so good though. When he's just getting overrun. He's
it's
just like instant.
Yeah, it's just getting everything's just getting stabbed or whatever.
It's like stab.
Yeah.
So fucking good. So second post-credit scene, we see Nick Fury's on holiday in space.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Do you reckon he's putting a sword together?
One would think so.
He's just
I think that will be the benchmark for... not the benchmark, sorry, the launch pad for the Eternals. Because if he knows that, because this is the thing, right? So we know that Nick Fury was obviously in Captain Marvel, but after that point in the 90s, the Nick Fury that we've seen in any of the films could have been Talos.
Possibly, but I don't think real Nick Fury, would have trusted Mysterio so easily.
Agreed. Absolutely. I think he would have called that bullshit immediately.
And you've got, obviously, Nick Fury in Winter Soldier and stuff, who's faked his own death and he doesn't trust no one, etc.
He's also been, shot, and, I don't know how if a Skrull can hold their form if they've been, shot through a wall and stuff.
Well, no, because any that have got, say, any kind of regenerative healing or any other powers, once they've shapeshifted, they haven't got their powers. Right. They've only got the power to shapeshift once they've shapeshifted.
Okay.
So I'm assuming if they got shot or anything, they would have to revert back to the Skrull form.
Yeah. So
that's comics. I don't know how it actually works in the MCU.
Well, this is because obviously we haven't really been, and plus obviously now we've only just found out that Nick and Maria are both Skrulls in this instance.
Has Maria
always been a Skrull?
Is Maria even a person?
Exactly. She could have been a Skrull from the first Avengers. We have literally no idea. But that's what's the interesting thing about the Skrulls, though. It could have been all of them, for all we know, But I think that, again, that's a really interesting kind of opening, because then if if Nick has built up some kind of relationship with the Skrulls where they're like, look, we'll do whatever we can and we'll try and help you, and I'm going to go on a recruitment drive in space, because clearly, the Guardians and Thor are more powerful than the majority of the kind of Earthbound heroes that we have. And for shit like Thanos, we need Adam Warlock levels of and Captain Marvel levels of Nova. Motherfuckers.
There's a Nova film in the pipeline.
Yeah, exactly. Nova again. And if Nova's been if Nova, what's the planet called? It's just Nova, isn't it?
Is it? Because obviously it's Nova Core, but
yeah, I think it's just the planet Nova.
We'll assume that it is.
I was going to check that quickly.
While you're looking, I've just figured out how they're going to solve the predicament.
What predicament?
Of Peter being outed.
Oh, go on.
Skrull.
Yeah, you just get a Skrull in and goes, no, I'm Peter Parker, and I'm
Peter
Spider-Man.
Parker. They're Spider-Man. There you go.
Yeah,
we
just
solved it.
The old Martian Manhunter switcheroo.
Yeah. That's what they're going to do. Fucking hell, we're geniuses.
Okay, Nova.
On the planet Woolworths.
I just want to find Xandar. Of course it is.
Yeah, fucking Guardians.
Yeah. So Xandar was blown up, but I don't know if after the reverse blip, that Xandar returned. I doubt it.
No, because that wasn't a subsequence of. That wasn't caused by the click, the snap, the fucking blip, whatever.
Yeah.
That was. He destroyed the planet.
But he would have had to have had Infinity Stones to do that. So
but he didn't
depends
snap his
on
fingers to do it, though, did he?
No, that's what I mean. So if it was just undoing the damage that he's done from the snap or the blip, then Nova, Xandar would still be destroyed. So Nova may still be around as the last Nova Corps, guy. I wish it was Peter Serafinowicz. I know he's dead, but it would be amazing if it was Peter Serafinowicz.
Nah.
Or John C. Reilly.
I've got a feeling he's going to be round about Peter's age in terms of.
So it's a relatively new Nova Corps member.
Yeah, because then you've got your beginning makings of the Web Warriors.
No, I think that's focusing.
Well, not Web Warriors, because they are all Spider-Mans.
Yeah, I was going to say that's very Spider-Man heavy, and given the fact that we don't know where the rights for Spider-Man are really going to lie.
Well, I was of the impression he's got one more film left. That's what I was of the impression of when I had my interview with Marvel and Disney. But I saw the other day, whatever, I can't remember what day it was, that there wasn't actually a contract. It is basically Marvel and Disney got an understanding, and as long as it is profitable, it will continue.
Disney and Sony, do you mean?
Disney and Sony, sorry. And then it leads on to an interview with the woman who directed Venom and Kevin Feige, and they're both just in the same room, and people are asking them questions and stuff. And then she's on about, this is obviously at some point down the line, but brilliant. Get Tom Holland over into our Sony Spider-Man universe with Tom Hardy's Venom, and she's talking away, and then the camera just zooms in on Kevin Feige, and he's just smiling and just nodding his head.
He's just like, no, of course, of course you're not.
Fuck right.
Yeah, it's like you can have as many animated Peter Parkers and Peter B. Parkers and as many as you want. Fill your fucking boots. You ain't having our actors to join your universe, which is not going to be related to our universe.
What if the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse had Tom Holland?
I did see
Tobey
something.
Maguire.
He was approached to be as a cameo.
Yeah, just kind of a swing by kind of.
Yeah. So I think that a Spider-Verse 2 would probably have Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire. I think they'd all be in there as varying, not necessarily their Peter Parker Spider-Man, but maybe just other
voices,
other Spider-Men or Spider-People, should I say? Sorry.
Because it was meant to be based original, not Peter B. Parker, the first Peter Parker, the good one.
Chris Pine one, yeah.
That was initially meant to be Tobey Maguire, which is why it's all the scenes from
the 1,
Sam
2, and 3
films. To a degree, obviously, some of them are slightly varied. But so it turns out there's Skrulls. This isn't the film I expected us to get the Skrull reveal, but that's what we got.
Yeah.
In terms of which post-credit, obviously, the first post-credit sequence is this is the jump-off point for whatever's going to happen with Spider-Man going forward.
Yep.
The second one being the MCU overall.
It's going to be more space-based.
Yeah, obviously we're going into Phase 4 was always going to be the more Cosmo Universe kind of malarkey.
Yep.
Do we know if James Gunn is still the forerunner for the entire phase? Because that was the original plan before he got sacked.
I know he certainly is for Guardians. Because Disney have basically rehired him again.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Obviously, they didn't just halt production on the rest of the films that they were doing.
Yeah.
Have they been passed off to other people?
It depends. They've been incredibly cagey. Other than Black Panther 2, which obviously was an absolute given the amount that it made and the reception to it, everything else would kind of be up for grabs, I guess. I mean, you could have a new series of Captain America films, but obviously it wouldn't be Chris Evans. It would be
Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie, yeah, as new Falcon / Captain America. And then obviously because we've got the Falcon Winter Soldier TV show, so maybe those kind of things, maybe they will be giving a little bit more of a hint as to what's going to be happening. But I think it's going to be more grandiose based. And if it's going to be space based, so obviously you've got your Captain Marvel, you've got Nick Fury. So obviously Nick Fury was the one who sorted the Avengers out in the first place. So it makes sense if he's just humans can't cut this. With some of the shit that's out here,
aliens.
We need some badass aliens who can really kick the shit out of people. Captain Marvel proved the need for it. So he's just going to go into space and make the Space Avengers, which is Sword. And then obviously it can just be their varying adventures or whatever. So the Eternals and Adam Warlock and the Guardians and Thor being predominantly the ones they're looking at. I think that is how you introduce the Fantastic Four, and you make the new Thanos Galactus. Because what in the fuck could the normal Avengers do against Galactus?
Thing is, again, this is just what we've been told. So they could just be holding people at arm's length until they're ready or whatnot. But it's going to be at least 5 years, because obviously they'd already got Phase 4 in action before they got any of the rights to Fantastic Four.
Yeah, they may
X-Men,
have had the ideas for them, but they haven't started production on them.
but it's going to be true, very true. And
So,
I imagine a lot of things are kind of you can swap them out.
Absolutely. Like, The Inhumans was slated to be a film, and then they just went, actually, just can that off, make it a TV show, and we'll focus on other things. Before the actual film process and the money starts getting spent, you could change whatever you want. You could have an entire rewrite, or now that they've actually got the Fox deal, they go, okay, now we've got the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. We've got a lot more space stuff. Maybe now we can get maybe the Fantastic Four are from a multiverse. And they got
From Home though is the what was the old Avengers Towers being rebuilt.
So there's your Baxter Building.
So that could very well be the Baxter Building.
Yeah, and it's still got a prominent place in New York.
And now JJ's back. His son's an astronaut.
Exactly, yeah. So I think that the Fantastic Four are a lot easier to introduce than X-Men at this point. Like, trying to introduce an entire genetic race of super people
was the snap.
Yeah, so some sort of weird effect. But that's why I think that, like, if just with the snap going on, they were just astronauts. They were on the International Space Station or something like that, and just some cosmic blast hit them all, and they were sent off to another dimension, and they had to work their way out, or whatever it was, and they got pulled. So instead of being sent off to, I don't know how they'd work it, but I think that is you need another big badge, you need another thing to build to, and I think that Galactus going around just going planet on.
Like that, you're gonna have your Adam Warlock and your Captain Marvel and Nova and stuff. You can't put them against a low-level villain.
But I mean, without the Infinity Gauntlet, the Avengers can't really do much against Thanos. But
without his gauntlet, they could.
Well, no, not really.
Hulk can still go toe-to-toe with him without a gauntlet.
Well, he only had one stone and he beat the living shit out of him.
Yeah, because he had the Power Stone.
Yeah, but either way, I don't think he'd... I think they'd be about equally matched.
No, because in the comics, like, Thanos specifically states that there's only a handful of people he will avoid conflict with, and Hulk's one of them.
But that's Comic Hulk, where Comic Hulk can blow planets up.
Yeah, but...
So, I mean, he's incredibly nerfed for this.
Same principle applies, though. Like, the more he fights, the stronger he gets.
Yeah, exactly. But I just don't think that... the Hulk against something like with Surtur in fucking Ragnarok. Hulk throws himself at him, and he's not... What's he going to do, really? He's not really going to do any major damage, He's like, oh, big monster, but he just wants to fight, exactly. But you get Galactus in there when he's literally bigger than the planet.
Yeah, Galactus is a different story.
But that's what I mean. So even the best wouldn't be able to stand up against something like... So although Galactus may not be doing a universe-wide, boop, everyone's dead, but he's a beatable villain. As long as you... they almost had him in Infinity War.
Yeah.
So as long as you've just got enough people or enough strength, then you could probably, as long as you get him away from the gauntlet, you might be able to take him out and you'll be alright. Galactus, though, that's a whole sort of how the fuck do we take this guy out?
Yeah.
And that's when you need brains, and that's when I think the Fantastic Four would be a much better way of coming at it.
Now you haven't got Stark.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you need someone, and maybe Reed Richards would be the sort of super genius to fill the tech side of things. He hasn't got the cash, obviously, but Pepper's got that. She can fund the whole thing if she needs to.
Mm.
Maybe Pepper sold it to Reed, knowing that he could carry on some of Tony's work. Some of the old research or whatever. I think that would be my way to go into Phase 4 because
bring Blade.
Nah, I don't think so. just keep him in the comics. That's fine for now.
I think just to keep people happy, they're gonna have. I think they're gonna have to introduce some of the Fox properties, and as you've already said, Fantastic Four is by far the easiest one to just drop in, because they're not mutants. They're not it's literally gone to space. There's been an accident. Now we've got powers.
Exactly, and that you can do at any point during that timeline.
Yeah,
they don't need to be in another dimension or off-world doing something else. That's why you've got to say Captain Marvel is just she's just been busy. That's why she hasn't been in any of them.
Yeah.
Whereas
she's got an entire universe to look after.
Yeah. Whereas them, they can just say, okay, well, they're made now. Now they're the Fantastic Four. Like
it's at the beginning of the film or something.
You don't need it as a setup. But I'd rather that it's just sort of like the Spider-Man sort of like intro. They just went, yeah, there's this weird explosion, and now all of a sudden I can stretch. That's it. Don't do any more than that.
Yeah.
Just focus on what they're doing after that. You don't need to see all of that shit again. Like, as long as Marvel do the right thing and just make the assumption of, we don't need an origin story here. People know. They've seen the old Fantastic Four films. If they're unlucky, they may very well have seen the more recent Fantastic Four film, but that covered off
you
your
only
origin
need to
shit.
see The Incredibles.
Yeah, and people know the powers of them. They've been around for 50 years.
Yeah.
They know
Marvel
who the
First
Fantastic Four are. There's cartoons and shit falling out their asses. You know, you don't need to do it. Weird space stuff. They all got powers. Let's crack on.
The only thing they need to focus on, realistically, is that Richard is a fucking super genius.
Yeah.
And I say focus, but just make sure it's apparent.
Yeah, but how do you do that?
Bang him in a lab.
Well, they did that with the original Reed Richards. He was always in a lab and he's like, I built this thing. And now he's Fantastica.
He also did a weird fucking dance.
Right, all of that shit. But that's the old Spider-Man stuff. That's before people knew how to make these films properly. Although I'll say that, Fantastic Four didn't come out that long ago. The new one, I mean.
That wasn't the film's fault. That was
the production fault.
3 different directors. It was all patched together to hit a deadline. Instead of just saying, right, let's cut our losses and go back to the fucking drawing board.
Yeah.
Give it another year, and then we'll bring it out. They just went, nope. Same release date.
I think they probably would have got more for them all if they'd have made the deal with Disney before they released that. Because nothing weakens your position more than a piss poor product. They were just like, yeah, we could pay you 50 quid for these rights. Clearly, you're going to lose money on them, and people will not go and see them because they can't trust you to do them right.
Yeah.
Us, on the other hand, we just go, yeah, new Spider-Man film, and they go, brilliant, $1 billion, thanks very much. It's almost a guarantee at this point.
Even the bad films aren't that bad. Like, I'd say the 2 Thor films, Thor 1 and 2 are probably the worst MCU films.
And I don't think that, and I
They're
think
not
that's
bad
where the
films.
differ is. No, they're not made poorly. It's just that the character was just not compelling.
No.
The story itself wasn't particularly interesting. I mean, Loki's kind of the only consistent thing from those films.
Yeah.
And he
Chris
was
Hemsworth doesn't come into his own till Ragnarok, really.
again, and I think that's just the way that he's just the character itself has been written. That it was still sort of like classic Thor, and I know that some people dig that, and that's okay. And I know that you don't need everyone like making little quips. Not everyone needs to be Star-Lord. Not everyone needs to be Iron Man.
Yeah.
But it's when he became just more interesting.
Yeah.
And like you actually cared about him, and you go, fuck me, I'd go and see another Thor film after this. That's what they want. They don't need to be completely accurate every time. They need to be able to make money to make these big events, these big sort of Avengers films and stuff. Like, what the fuck is the next Avengers ensemble film going to be? What the fuck's that? What is going to get everything back together again for them to go, now we need an Avengers 4?
Why not do one?
But it'll be new event. Well, maybe that'll be it. It won't be Avengers Assemble, Avengers Age of Ultron, Avengers... well, I suppose Infinity War and Endgame are kind of this one film, but you know what I mean. It'd be New Avengers Assemble. So it'd be Captain America, Falcon, it'd be Bucky, it would be Scarlet Witch. It would be the sort of the those that have carried on the baton, so to speak, from the original Avengers. But then you start introduce the more cosmic element and make things a bit more. The stakes are a lot higher. I mean, not higher necessarily, but the challenge is a lot tougher.
Yeah, because Falcon's cool and all, but he's not Captain America.
No, but Bucky technically is. He's got the super soldier serum and he's got a vibranium arm. Like, if anything, he should be better than Captain America by this point.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he has been Captain America.
Yeah, he absolutely has. Yeah.
And he says himself, he's not the right person.
Well, if his brainwashing is still there, then you don't want Captain America to just be like, you just say a few words at him and all of a sudden you'll go on a murder rampage.
Well, I don't know. I don't think they're going to go running into It took us like 10 years to get to the first team up.
What?
To get to the Avengers.
It wasn't 10 years, you idiot. Okay. 10 years? How long do you think? They're making these since 1984. What are you on about? That David Hasselhoff Nick Fury film wasn't the first of the Avengers.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't the first Phase 1 film.
Okay.
In 10 years.
I don't even know what I meant to say.
I don't know, but like 2 years, I think it was, or something.
No, I think I was meant to say it took us a few phases to get there.
Right, okay, yeah.
And depending on how well that went, obviously would have panned out the rest of the MCU. If that had have done a Justice League, they'd just gone, nah, dial it back.
Yeah, maybe it would have just been a few more solo films and see how they go.
Yeah, but obviously, I mean, you've had Avengers, you've had Ultron, you've had Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame. So we've got 5 big team-up films.
And the stakes have been getting higher and higher each time.
Yeah. I mean, Civil War, obviously, in terms of world domination and stuff, it was.
But that's a Captain America film. It's not an Avengers film.
No. But I mean, it's still a big team-up film because
sure.
it involves all of the Avengers and other characters.
It was just a personal film.
Yeah, the stakes were high in terms of what the fuck is happening to the Avengers.
Yeah, are we going to have the Avengers?
Yeah.
Like, are the Avengers going to stay a thing, you know? Which they didn't, I guess.
Arguably, that makes the stakes a lot higher than, say, Ultron.
Well, yeah, because no Avengers, and then all of a sudden there's a big threat, and people aren't working together. People aren't talking to each other. They're ignoring each other's calls, and all of a sudden someone needs backup, and they get killed.
Yeah. And they go, man, I wish we were talking.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Stephen isn't answering, you know, because I was a dick to him or whatever. Like, I tweeted at him, like, sort of really snide, and he's just refusing to take my calls. Now I've been killed by a random electrical malfunction or something, and no one's there to get my back.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you fall out with the Avengers.
But I'm hoping that whatever is to come is going to be as good as the films that we've seen so far.
High fucking levels.
Very
that
high.
bar's very high.
It is. But don't worry about it. It'll all be fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's in good hands. So, out of Big Stringy Webs, how many Big Stringy Webs are you going to give Far From Home?
I'm going to give it 4 stringy webs.
Out of 5?
Stringy webs.
Just 4 stringy webs.
Just 4 stringy webs.
Ah, so.
And whatever, like, measurement you want to associate that, whether that's out of 100 or out of 4, I'll leave it up to you. Don't worry about it.
Out of 4.
4. It's a 4. Brilliant.
So that's a perfect film, man.
Well, if that's your scale for stringy webs, then that's fine. But that's not what I agreed to.
I'm going to give it 4.5.
How many web shooters out of 3D printing machines on the back of a plane would you give it?
I will give it 11.
11 web shooters
11
out
web
of a 3D printer on the back of a plane.
3D snakes on a plane.
Yeah.
I will give it 11 snakes on a plane.
Brilliant.
No, it's very good. Very good.
What more could you need?
That's high praise.
Definitely.
If you'd like to see more SpoilerCast, including previous MCU films, DCU films, Star Wars U films, Blue films, any films, there's a lot. You can go to the website at www.podcastfirstplayer.com or .co.uk. You can see everything on YouTube at youtube.com/podcastfirstplayer. You can go to Twitter at podcastvplayer and at Instagram at podcastversusplayer. There's not a lot of spoiler casts on there though because they're social media things.
Yeah.
But there's tons of other stuff, including podcasts, game shows, animations, let's plays. Fucking loads. Too much if you ask me.
And we've even got a spoiler cast about Stranger Things Season 3 that's due to come out this very week. So keep an eye out on all of the things that Callum's just mentioned, and we'll see you there in the Upside Down. You like that as a link for the next...
It was, yeah.
It's good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bye.
I don't know where I'm stopping
No,
this.
bye. No, now it's ending. Bye.